This right here is Metal Slug. It's a Neo Geo game that I used to play over and over. I was mid-teens and I'd spend my afternoons in the arcades. I miss arcades, I really do. And I spent many, many quarters in there. I'm telling you this because I think there's a parallel with the way we learn guitar. And I think the reason you might still be in this state of kind of eternal beginner is because you're approaching guitar like you would approach an arcade game. You keep putting quarters in it. Now let's talk about that and let's fix it. Hey, my name is David and I help guitar players express themselves on the guitar a little bit better. We've all been in that situation where we feel frustrated with our lack of progress. Typically, when we start playing guitar, we make pretty good progress because we learn maybe chords and we implement them and we can use those really quickly within songs. And then maybe we graduate to learning the minor pentatonic scale, and that's awesome. We can jam with that scale, and then we get a little bit better at it, and then we get stuck. And for some of us, we've been in that state of lack of progress for years and oftentimes even decades, and you really haven't learned much. So back to the video game thing, you know, you put a quarter in, you start from level 1 and you start playing until you lose all your lives. And the first playthrough sucks because you don't know anything about anything. Second playthrough, you put a quarter and then you remember that, oh, there's an enemy here on top, so I've got to be careful about that. And then, okay, I will memorize this, where the enemy is, jump, shoot, avoid it, and then move a little bit further. And eventually you keep putting quarters and you avoid the mistakes that you make. Video games work like that. And that's a great way to, well, A, take all your quarters, and B, see the progress because you memorize what's going on and you maybe come up with your little strategies. Maybe instead of going the route on the bottom, you take the route on the top and all of that stuff, right? And it's a very linear way of learning. That's the way that most of us learn things, right? Well, music is different, and that's probably why we're stuck. See, anytime you pick up the guitar, you might be doing what I did for years. So let's say that we are kind of in the early phases of learning guitar, and we are working on our chords, the open chords. C major, G major, E major, maybe you've got the F major. So you've got these chords, you memorize them. The next time you come to practice, oftentimes what do? Well, we play those again. We just make sure that we got them, right? And we spend time maybe going from one to the other. And then 15 minutes go by, and let's say you got 20 minutes to practice. We got 5 minutes left. Well, we're gonna learn something new. Maybe we're working on the minor pentatonic scale. Okay, we play that maybe in different ways. And then we're done for the day. Put the guitar down, go on to other activities. Next day comes, we grab our guitar, and we do the same thing. Because we now have two things under our belts, the chords, the minor pentatonic scale. We start reviewing those things, and then we only have 2 minutes left to learn something new. And eventually, that 2 minutes of learning something new gets less and less and less and less and less. The problem is that those things that we're learning, we are memorizing them in the same way we would memorize the first few minutes of the first level of a video game to avoid those mistakes, and we go back to the beginning. We keep putting a quarter in. So how can we basically save our progress so that next time we come to the guitar, we start with a fresh mind? Everything that we've learned, it's already there. We don't need to go through the level again and again to remind ourselves how to play it. We just start where we are with everything that we have. Well, this is what's oftentimes missing. It's engaging our creative mind in the process. Let me show you how it works. Let's say that we are working on a new scale, the harmonic minor scale. It could be anything else. It doesn't even have to be a scale. It could be a technique, theory, concept, whatever it is. Let's take the harmonic minor scale. So the first step would be to learn one of those positions. And we'll do that in A, so we have something like this. So how do I know this? Well, maybe you found this online. You just search harmonic minor. Okay, so you memorize the scale. So that's the first step. We basically put a quarter in and we're trying to go through the scale once, see what happens. Now, we want to create a save state for that, right? In our mind, so that tomorrow when we come back, we don't have to play the first level again. That's where we want to take this and make it our own. And the best way to do that is to write a song. So the first thing is to have a mindset. The mindset is the mindset of an expert. Even if you're not an expert in that thing, the harmonic minor scale, pretend that you are. I know the harmonic minor scale. I was hired by this company to create a song, and I'm gonna use the harmonic minor scale because it perfectly fits the mood of that song. We're making that up. Remember, this is a scale that you are new to. We haven't really incorporated that into our mind and our musicality yet, but we're just pretending. That's confidence, right? We've got the confidence that we can do it. We're gonna write something with that. So let's take that position that we had, then maybe we'll write something a little more intricate here, but I'll show you how to do it. But we've got our scale, just our first position, and I'm gonna write a theme, a song. Now remember, we don't really know that scale yet. It's a new thing we're learning. We're going to take the very simplistic approach. We're gonna try to come up with a theme rhythmically. The rhythm is going to carry the tune. So, got a tempo. Even without notes, I'm just gonna scat something over this. Da 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 ba 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 ba. That's a rhythm motif. We're gonna repeat that. Da ga da ga da ba 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 ba. Da ga da ga da ba 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 ba. Maybe improvise a little bit using that with questions and answers. Da ga da ga da ba 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 ba. Da ga da ba 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 ba. See, I took an element, a rhythm element of what I just sang, repeated it. Not the whole thing, just the end of that. Da ga da ga da ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Da ga da ga da ba 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 ba. Ga da 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 ba ba. Now let's apply that kind of phrasing with our scale. Now the process might take a little while, but we're just gonna phrase rhythmically with that scale. Okay, something is coming. It's a little complicated because if I stop playing, I can't really sing that. So that tells me that it's not super catchy, and we really want something catchy because remember, we're creating a save state. Tomorrow when we pick up the guitar, we want to start where we're at without having to try to remember all the steps before. And if we can create something super catchy, right, a super catchy thing, well, that's what it is. The create save state is going to start exactly where we stopped. Okay, let's just continue until we find something super catchy. I kind of like that. Okay, I'll repeat it. A lot of repetition, right? That's what makes it memorable. Okay, I kind of like this. By doing this, I have the sound of the scale, at least a mood, an idea. I put the guitar down. See, without the guitar, I can kind of sing that, and that's a good sign. La da ba 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 da ba 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 da. Da da ba 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 da ba 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 ba. Ish, right? Something like that. Okay, let's solidify this by actually recording it. We're gonna write a tiny little song, kind of like maybe a jingle or something like that. If you do have a DAW, a digital audio workstation like I do here, with a MIDI keyboard, that's gonna be even more useful as you're gonna see, but really anything you have is great. We're just gonna record a theme here. Let's go. Okay, we have our theme. I remembered the theme after brushing my teeth, which is a good sign, right? If you remember it, it's simple enough so that you can actually remember it. Okay, we're gonna go one step further here. We're going to add some chords and create a little song out of that. I'm gonna start with some drums or some kind of loop in there. I'm gonna use one of my favorite software for that. It's Spectrasonics Stylus software, and it comes with tons and tons of different loops. Let's see what we can find. And the cool thing is that it can sync directly with your host here. I'm at 120 beats per minute, so it's going to fit perfectly. I'm going to create a quick loop section here so that we can preview what we have. I think I'll just use that one. So I'll drag and drop this onto my timeline. And now we're going to add a bass. So remember, the scale we're working on is not yet really part of us. We just learned it. So what I'm going to do is take a look at my scale on the guitar, and all these notes that I had, the ones that I had in my scale, from which I extracted my theme, are possible bass notes. So we're just gonna try here. And if you're not a keyboard player, just go by ear. That is my first note, and just try to find it, match it, and then the second note right here, and so forth until you have the 7 notes of the scale. And I'm just gonna listen for now. Okay, so I've got my beat. I'm gonna create something very simple using the rhythm. So now I'm thinking like a bass player, right? Let's try this. Boop, doo doo, bop, bop, da da, bum. That's kind of the rhythm I have. We're going to add some chords to this. This is really going to solidify the idea that we have mastered that theme, so that tomorrow when we put our quarter in, we start from exactly where we're leaving this off. So we're going to add some chords to that to place this in context. As of now, we have a good idea of the theme, the mood, that song, right? Kind of gives us an idea that it's not super happy, kind of mysterious, whatever the vocabulary you want to fill there. But we're going to add some chords. I'm going to show you something about chords that is very useful. We are in Neck Diagram, which is a software I use all the time. I'm leaving the link in the description somewhere below. Just keep scrolling down if you want to check it out. But we're going to use this to come up with chords. So up here I have an empty fretboard. We're going to fill this fretboard with notes from the scale we're working in, which is A harmonic minor. And there's a scale generator, so I'm just going to right-click here, select Scale Generator. And then I'm going to look for harmonic minor. Oops. Oh, come on. There we go. Harmonic minor. And I'm going to select A as the root, and I'm going to make these notes hollow. Now, these notes can create chords. And this is my approach to chords. I really like this because it really helps you find new things. I could select any note on any string. It really doesn't matter. And for that, I'm going to use the first 3 strings, so the top ones. Why? Because on the recording we had, we already have a theme that is kind of taking the middle space. You know, it's kind of operating in this space right here. And then the bass, which is the lower spectrum. So I'm going to go high. I'm going to add some chords a little bit higher to add some layers. So I'm going to use the first 3 strings. I can pick any of these notes. It really doesn't matter. Let's do this one, and this one. Okay, let's grab our guitar. And let's play this. Now these 3 notes together are gonna make a chord. I'm gonna switch my tone to a clean tone here. Okay, and I'm just gonna play this. So kind of a weird fingering. Okay, this piece of a chord there is extracted from A harmonic minor, which means that in theory, this chord will work over my theme. So let's try this. So I'm gonna switch to Logic. I'm going to play my theme, and we'll see what happens. It works. Is it the best option for us? I don't know. If you like it, it is. If you don't, it's not. Let's try another chord. We're going to use this one, and this one. Let's see. Okay, that's another interesting chord. It should work over our theme. Let's see. Yeah. I like it. if you don't, try something else. There's a lot of different possibilities. Ooh, I like this. You just kind of play around with this until you have something cool. Then what I like to do is not do it with the guitar. I like to have layers of different instruments. I'm going to use a pad here, so I'm going to add a pad. The act of composing with this new piece really engaged a lot of other things, and it brought in all the things that you have previously learned. Your chords, the harmony, the technique, even the recording, like all those things are actually practical things. And it's so much different and so much better than putting a quarter and replaying the first level over and over, like you might be doing right now by reviewing everything, the technique and all that. If you don't use it, you lose it. Oh, and by the way, if you're super limited in your practice time and don't have time to actually write and record something, this will also do the job right here. This video will teach you how in 5 minutes to create a save state for your progress. Watch it, and if you want to go even further, check out this free masterclass on melodic playing. Thanks for watching this. I will see you next time. I'll meet you there.